Hi, this is John.
And I'm Cecilia.
From Crazy Cat Paranormal Speaks.
And you're listening to the Bigfoot Club Podcast.
Hey guys, please go to our website at www.bigfootclubpodcast.com. Check out our merch and all episodes. Also, please look for our social media at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Bigfoot Club 1. That's Bigfoot Club number 1. Also, check out Matt Knapp's Bigfoot Crossroads on YouTube.
Hello, everybody. Robert Dominguez, Bigfoot Club Podcast, Season 4, Episode 11. Before I get started on this podcast, I wanted to say a couple weeks ago, Bigfoot Club and Pentex lost a really good friend, Cecilia Stroessner Clark, passed away. She was a big fan of Bigfoot Club Podcasts, and she was a big supporter of Pentex Facebook group. Cecilia ran Crazy Cat Paranormal Podcast, and she was a guest on Bigfoot Club Podcast the first season. So I was on her podcast twice. So, actually 3 times. So she was a big supporter, and she was well loved, well liked in the paranormal community in the state of Texas. She will be sorely, sorely missed. I cannot say enough good things about this lady. She was just an all-around good person, and she loved supporting people, and she loved talking with the paranormal, and she loves just learning and just hearing other people's stories. So she's going to be sorely, sorely missed. So I would just say to everybody, please pray for her husband and her family. I just want them to have, love and support. So I can't say enough good things about her. So you will be missed. So this weekend I was at Southeast Texas Bigfoot Roadshow in Mineola, Texas. I've been to a lot of Bigfoot conferences and paranormal conferences, and this one was really enjoyable. I really had a good time there. I ran into some people that I haven't seen in forever. And then I ran into a lot of people that I didn't know, some fans. I wish I'd have got their names, but there was some people there that had listened to the Bigfoot Club podcast and then showed up and told me, "Hey, you're Bigfoot Club, and I'm here just for you." And I'm sorry if I didn't get your names, and please forgive me. I wish, please message me and give me your name so I could give you a shout out on the next show. But I was just overwhelmed with emotion because I didn't, I know we do this podcast, Steven and I, and we've kind of grown it in the last, 2.5 years, but it still hits me like really hard when people say, "Hey, I love your show." And it's just, I don't know, it's overwhelming. And I teared up when they were talking to me about, the show, or they were there for us, just for us. So, thank you all that showed up and, supported me. So we really, really enjoyed that. So I also got to meet a lot of new people that I haven't really met before in the Bigfoot and paranormal community. And, they were really supportive, and, I really enjoyed it. So, but, I will say that when I first got there, I got there pretty early in the morning, set up. I think, the vendors were getting set up, around 7. And so I get there, get out, and they see my shirt, Bigfoot Club. And because Bigfoot Club is a sponsor for the Bigfoot Roadshow, so they knew I was a sponsor, and they would just say, I didn't even know who they were, to go, "Hey, Bigfoot Club's here." So I thought it was kind of neat. So, but I get there, and I hear rumors about the Lake Country Playhouse, that it's haunted, and so I wanted to check it out. And so I was talking to Michelle Miller. She's one of Michelle and Russell Miller are the ones that run the Bigfoot Roadshow. They're organizers for it. So I see Michelle Miller, and I ask her. I said, "Hey, can I go inside the theater?" Because, like I said, I had heard rumors that it was haunted, and so they were telling me that it is the oldest running active theater in the state of Texas. It's 102 years old. So this first part, I go in and I kind of feel like I had anxiety or something. So I was kind of like feeling kind of nervous when I first walked in, and it felt kind of like I was going through some EMF stuff. So just felt kind of really weird, kind of spooky. And so I go in and I pull out Spirit Box, I pull out some K2 meters, and I start asking some questions, doing some EVP sessions. So this first part of this podcast is me walking into the theater and doing a little mini investigation before anybody else walks into the theater, before the speakers, before the guests show up. So I hope you enjoy it. Here you go. Hey everybody, Robert Jesse Dominguez, Bigfoot Club. I'm actually at the Bigfoot Roadshow in Mineola, Texas. I'm currently set up outside. It's still kind of early. It's about around 7th in the morning. Just doing preliminary, just walking, just talking around, see if I can talk to some people. There's mostly vendors here right now, but I was going to take this opportunity. I was going to try to go into the theater itself and just walk around to see if I get a feel, because they're saying that this theater is haunted, and so I'm gonna walk in there real quick and just talk, see if I can pick up anything. So I'm just gonna walk in here real quick and pull out some gear. Is there anybody here in the theater with me right now? Anybody at all? I hear that there's a little girl in here that was killed outside. If you can come over here and just touch this device I have, we can communicate. You can touch that one, and I'll put out a couple more. If you just want to come over and just touch these, feel free to do so. I got a couple that I got going. There's some people walking in right now, so. Somebody needs an extension cord. So I hear that there's a little girl in here. So if you're in here, if you can hear my voice, try to communicate with me. There's going to be a lot of people in here. So are you going to be angry that there's a lot of people in here right now? Do you like having a lot of people in here? Watching shows, talking? Is there anybody else here that's other than the little girl that's preventing her from talking? I'm going to put on a spirit box. Is anybody in here? I hear there's a little girl in here. You want to come talk to us? Say a couple words? Communicate? You want to talk to us? I just wanted to talk to anybody in here, so. So, if you want to communicate with someone else on why you're here, talk to us. Some some music. There we go. Anybody? Anybody here? Did you hear that? So far I'm in the theater. I haven't gotten too much activity. But I kind of felt something whenever I first walked in. Anyway, I don't know if I'm sure there's other people that research this place, but yeah. Can anybody say anything to us? Do you have a message for anybody? No? I hear nothing but broken stuff. If you guys can hear something, let us know in the comments or email us at bigfootclub1@gmail.com. I'm going to put this down and I'm going to walk around with you. Okay, so just wanted to walk real quick. Just get a little feel while I have the spirit box moving or playing back there. Just gonna walk over to the stage, the EMF detector, and just see if I can pick up some stuff. So far I don't have any readings in here at all, so I'm gonna probably make this really quick because I want to go out and talk to people about Bigfoot. So, but anywho, I felt something initially when I first came in, but I don't feel anything anymore. So, no. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. Interesting place. It's an old building. I don't know how old it is. The guy was telling me, but I forgot. But anywho. So I'm going to turn that off. So after I do that, I walk around a little bit and I run into George Jones. He's the caretaker for the theater. And I ran into him, so I wanted to go talk to him to confirm about the hauntings. And so I walk over to him, and he starts telling me about the history of Mineola and the theater, and the history of the theater, and a little bit of the history of the adjacent buildings that are tied into that main street block. And so this is my interview with George Jones and his buddy Mark. I hope you enjoy it. Hey Hey, George. Hey, I hear that the theater here is haunted.
That is true.
Is it what's the story behind that? If you don't mind talking about
Well,
it.
that's a pretty long story.
I'm good.
Well, first of all, the theater is 102 years old. It's seen a lot of history.
Uh-huh.
Started out with no roof. It was open air, called the Air Dome, and they would bring vaudeville type acts and put them in there on the stage, and people sat in lawn chairs and watched it.
Wow.
Back in 1920 is when it opened. About 15 years later, they started improving, and they added an ice cream parlor and a candy store in the front. And then another 10 years went by, and they enclosed the whole thing and made it a bona fide movie theater. And after that, a lot more things happened. There's been so many people that have come through here that have passed away that this was their entertainment. This is what they loved.
Right.
And later on, they added the stage and became live plays and theater. And several of our actors over the years have passed away, and they loved it so much we believe several of them have come back. So we've got a couple of actors that have passed away that are still haunting the stage. And if we do something they don't like, they let us know.
Like they move stuff around?
Oh, they'll move stuff. They'll come up and be like, "Hey!" They'll push you. Yeah. We've got a little girl that haunts the back room that likes to braid hair.
I heard the story about a little African American girl that was killed out here, and it was.
We've identified 9 different spirits in there.
Wow.
The most friendly one is an older black fellow who he seems to try to take care of the upstairs area.
Mm-hmm.
And every Thursday, when I'm sitting in my office up there, I hear footsteps approaching the office, and they stop right outside the door. And I go, "Sorry, it's not payday." And then you hear them walk away.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you get like nauseated or any kind of like that? Or
No,
kinda
I don't,
dizzy?
but I've had people that they felt really cold spots and things like that, and a couple of folks have actually said, "Nope, I will not go in those dressing rooms ever again."
I got here pretty early, and I walked in there, and I kind of felt something different. Mm-hmm. So I have like a spirit box, and I have like some EMF detectors, and so I pulled them out, and I just walked around and asked some questions. I don't know if I got anything, but
You might have.
yeah.
That place is haunted. This place is haunted. And this place is haunted.
Wow.
This place and that place together used to be the English funeral home.
So we're talking about the Lake Country Playhouse, and we're talking about the English Funeral Home, which is now the Oldie Curiosity Shop. So
And the annex.
here in Mineola. So
Curiosity Shop used to be the old English funeral home.
wow.
And
Embalming and all that stuff, right?
all that stuff. It was all done.
Wow.
And that was the Masonic Lodge. And the doctor's office was upstairs right there. And
I
below
bet
that
there's
was
stuff
the
in there.
bakery.
I bet there's stuff in that Masonic.
Can't get in there to find out.
Who owns it?
I don't have a clue.
Man,
It's been locked up for the last 3 or 4 years.
that's crazy, man. We can't talk to anybody in City Hall, Sean?
I have no idea. But the mayor's going to be here in a few minutes, so maybe we can talk to her.
Hey, okay, all right.
Yeah. Now, you see that gentleman right there on that bench?
Yeah,
He's my ghost hunting buddy and partner,
yeah.
and he's running the shop today. And he also does past life regressions.
Wow.
So you might want to talk to him about
Okay,
that.
I'll go over and what's his name?
His name is Mark.
Mark. Thanks, George.
You're welcome.
Mark, he was telling me that you do like the paranormal stuff here.
I do.
You got any stories you want to share, or you want to care to talk about, or anything like that?
About this area
Yes,
especially?
yes, sir.
I don't know if he's told you about the things that happened back in here.
He has not told. He just told me it was haunted.
There is some things that's going on back there. We had an investigation there a week ago tonight, actually. We had one young lady that got scratched on her back.
3 scratches or just 1 scratch?
3 scratches.
Wow, that's
And that's the second time they've gone after her. So
Wow.
something with her that they don't particularly like. And one of our investigators that he's been doing this with us for years, we had to escort him out. He was
nauseated, all that stuff.
nauseated, didn't know who he was for a minute. So there's some interesting things going on there. Yeah. He said the theater across the street, the annex here, this building, the train depot, this whole area is
Right. Okay.
And I don't know if you're familiar, there's a big 3-story Victorian mansion back here.
I am not.
That's the Hogg Mansion, and it's actually Vite Pondera, which is an accredited university for esoteric studies.
Yeah.
Is that kind of I think
That's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. Wow. Okay, well, Thank you for your time, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Mark Robertson.
Mark Robertson, Robert Dominguez, Bigfoot Club Podcast. So I run into 6 speakers for the Bigfoot Roadshow. Most of the speakers were really busy talking to people, or they were just running around, or they were just selling stuff. So I wasn't able to talk to all the speakers. So I was interviewing people, and then I was trying to get interviews with people. And so anytime I ran into a speaker, I would just try to ask them what are they going to be talking about on the conference. So I talked to Nick Renfern first, and I asked him about what he's going to be talking about, and then I ran into Ken Gerhardt. I wasn't able to talk to Lyle Blackburn, Daniel Jones, Jeff Stewart, or I did talk to George Jones. So I wasn't able to talk to any of those other guys. But this is my interview with Nick Renfern and Ken Gerhardt. I hope you enjoy it. Hey Nick. How are you, man? Robert Dominguez.
Hey, Robert.
Bigfoot Club Podcast. How's everything going, man? You're like speaking today, right? Or you're not?
I'm on in about 10 minutes.
You really?
Yeah.
What are you covering, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, mine's a little bit different. Instead of doing Bigfoot, I'm doing Littlefoot.
Littlefoot, okay.
Well, because around the world there have been a lot of reports of unknown apes.
Right.
But they're only sort of about this high. There's like some in South America. The most famous one is not, excuse me, is in the Indonesian island.
Right.
There's a lot of reports there where they look like chimpanzees, the size of a chimpanzee.
They're walking
walk
upright? Upright, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you interviewed some people on that, or you just... Okay.
Yeah. And I'll be talking with some of the in the interview. I'll be talking about some of the cases and there'll be pictures of the people and the locations. And
Okay. Well, good deal, man. I'm excited about hearing it.
Well, thanks.
No problem, man.
All right,
Thanks.
cool. Thanks.
Ken Gerhardt, Robert Dominguez, Bigfoot Club. Talking today about.
Robert, I'm going to be talking about Bigfoot versus Nessie,
I like it.
Clash of the Titans. 2 cryptids that are iconic.
Right on, man. I love it. I don't think. Why hasn't anybody come up with that before? That's awesome.
Well, I don't know if anyone's written a Bigfoot and a Nessie book back to back.
Right.
That's how I got the idea.
Okay.
So these are classic archetypes, Robert. If
Right.
you go back thousands of years in
Right.
human civilization, back to ancient Babylonia, you have legends of big hairy wild man like Bigfoot and also giant serpentine water monsters.
Okay.
So, and all over the world you'll find similar legends of those 2 types of creatures.
Right on, yeah.
So I think it's kind of fun to talk about how they compare.
I'm excited. Where can someone go to find your books and your stuff?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. My books are available on Amazon.com.
Okay.
And I appear at a lot of Bigfoot conferences around the country throughout the year, and people can, if they want a signed copy, they can come out and meet me there.
Okay. All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Robert. Good to meet you.
All right, brother. Thank you, man. So this next interview, I get introduced to this gentleman by Luke Gross, my mentor, and this is James Pogue. He runs 2724 East Texas Cryptid Paranormal Investigations, and so I found he was very interesting, very passionate about the subject of cryptids and the paranormal, and so he's a local there, and so I ended up talking to him, and I hope you enjoy it.
This is my very good friend, longtime friend, Bob Dominguez.
Bigfoot Club Podcast.
2724 ETC.
Can I ask you a question?
I didn't do it.
What's the story on this building right over here? This white
How you
building.
been?
That one? Wow. I'm not really for sure. I do know that. Oh my goodness.
There's like, the story I was told that it's haunted, but it's not open to the public, or it's like been locked, and they don't know who the owner is.
Actually, to be honest, it used to be for sale. But I think the inside structure is so dangerous that they canceled the sale on it, because the brick wall over here looks like it's about ready to collapse.
What's the name of this building over here?
I really don't remember. There used to be a shop there
Okay.
years ago, But if you want anything haunted around here, you're looking at it right here.
That's what Marcus and George were telling me.
Yes.
Because I got here pretty early, and so they told me that this theater was haunted. So I got some gear with me. I got some EVP. I
actually brought my well, it's in the truck, but I brought my EMF K2 meter.
Yeah.
But the annex, the shop next door, if you look at the front,
it's a funeral home.
We actually, before George opened that shop, they were just looking around, explaining, we're going to put this here, and we heard this.
Yeah.
In the back, like some sort of weird sign.
Right.
And it was enough that me and the guy looked back in the back door and we're like, what the heck was that?
Your full name is James Polk, right?
James Polk.
And you're with who?
2724 ETCPI.
And that stands for?
That is 2724 is the county road. That follows the nature preserve that's south of town.
I like that.
ETCPI is East Texas Cryptid and Paranormal Investigators.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I like that.
A good friend of mine, Amy Campbell, made these shirts for me. She's also an investigator. But yes, the theater's haunted. Anything around here is haunted.
That's what George was telling me. He was telling me that.
The antique store. If you see that light green, dark green across the street.
Yeah.
That is haunted. We've done an investigation here at the annex. We've done investigations here at the Slick Theater. I have not done the
funeral home.
The funeral home yet. But we did have a Paracon last weekend.
Really?
And we did ghost investigations.
Dang, I'm sorry I missed that.
If you look up my group,
okay.
2724 ETCPI.
Right.
I try to post everything.
Okay.
As quick as I can. Yes, sir. Anything around here is pretty much haunted. I mean, understand that's antiques from family members.
It's like. And plus,
there might be residual attachments.
Right.
It's
like this area is like at least dated like 100 years back, right?
The theater is actually 101.
Wow.
We're the longest continuing theater in all of Texas. That's what they say. I don't know if there's any more theaters that run movies like we do, but as of, I want to say 2000, oh my goodness. Anyway. Late 2000, before 2007, I think it was, or 6. It's high def.
Wow.
We're digital now. Back in the day, we were still doing reel-to-reel movies. And if you know what reel-to-reel is, you have one reel in, and once it ends, you have to change it and put the other reel in.
Right.
We're digital now. We got fully surround sound speakers. We got a subwoofer that will swallow you up. It's that big. And we try. For the longest time, it was kind of iffy, but now that George Jones is working and the head of the theater, we're doing more up-to-date movies now. Every Tuesday, unless it is before a symphonic band concert or a Lake Country Playhouse performance.
Right.
Every Tuesday we do what's called Terrific Tuesday. 50 cents to get in.
Wow.
And they just take movies out of the vault. And
just playing. Yeah.
John Wayne, Fred Astaire, you name it. If they can pull it out, they will bring it, and you only pay 50 cents.
How often do they rent this out for paranormal investigations?
This is the first for us. Last weekend, it was the first time we ever did a Paracon for 2022.
Right.
This is the very first time we're doing a Bigfoot conference.
That's a good setup, man. I like it.
Oh, this town is beautiful. I love this town. I'm from Mineola. I live in Quitman, sadly.
Right.
Hope no one hears that.
I'll edit it out.
But I'm actually from Mineola.
Okay.
And there's a lot of hot spots around here. The cemetery that's south of town, back in the segregation days.
Right.
I hope I said that right.
You did. You said
it
right.
It was split. the whites were in the front and the colors were in the back. Just last year, they finally took the fence down.
Wow.
So everything is open. Everyone, to my opinion, everyone is equal now.
Right.
Black or white, everyone's equal now.
Man, if I can get this train to stop coming by while I'm recording, it'd be great.
Yeah, we got a freight train. Yes, sir. We did a paranormal investigation last Saturday that lasted until 3 o'clock in the morning. And
Jesus.
Train.
Yeah.
But yes, the white side of the cemetery wasn't so active.
Mm-hmm.
The black side was more active, and I believe the reason why is it breaks my heart.
Right.
I actually have a kid friend named Preshay Walton who's buried down there. The families did not have a whole lot of money, so once the temporary markers fell and decayed, they didn't replace them with anything else.
That
so
is sad.
There's a lot of unmarked graves back there. But if you ever have a chance to go down there, on the far south of the colored side, there is one lonely tombstone by itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the strangest feeling. We have gotten, I have a recording of it, but I need to get it, worked on to make sure what I've got on there is what I've got on there. But yeah, a lot of activity around here.
Wow. You got Bigfoot and you got paranormal stuff all in
Mineola
the
Nature
same.
Reserve, and we'll be down there tonight investigating.
Wow. Okay.
We've been down several times on the east side. The east side is probably only maybe 1,000 yards, and it dead ends into another property. But we have what? How many acres over there? 3,000
total. Over 4,000.
Over 4,000?
Because on the other side too. The 1801 side.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of trails. We got hiking trails, biking trails. We got horse trails. We even have ponds that are specifically for people, families who want to fish.
Right.
So you can take your family out there and go fishing.
How often you get like Bigfoot activity out there?
I haven't been out here in a while, but the last time I came out here, I don't want to say it was Bigfoot. But what I encountered, really, I got in the truck and left.
That's serious.
Of course, we get hogs out there. No big deal. If you can spook them off, that's fine. They're not going to be that much of a threat.
Right.
But I went down to what we call Greer Hill, and we have a camping area out there, and we have picnic tables. I sat down on one of the picnic tables, had a cigarette, was on the phone with a friend of mine, and I saw something huge. I think it was bigger than both of you.
Like shoulder to shoulder?
Oh God, that's the thing. It went through so fast. I couldn't get the details. But what's going on is this area that it went through is so thick. Trees beside trees. Side by side. I'm sorry, it's impossible not to make a noise down there.
Right.
But whatever went through was big, it was black, and it shot through as fast as it could get through, and I never heard a sound.
Wow.
We've had footprints out here. We've had mysterious lights out there. The X's we caught 3 years ago.
The tree.
Oh yes.
Tell me about the tree.
Oh, in the tree they had the huge log that was like 10 feet up in the air.
Is the log up there? Just thrown up there or what?
I don't know. What happens is a lot of times when it floods down there, the water sits. But I'm sorry, that doesn't happen. That's not normal. This log was, oh gosh, that long, big around.
Pretty heavy?
And it was at least 12 feet up. And it was lodged in between branches.
That's awesome.
I do have pictures of it if you want to see them.
Of course.
But yeah.
What about the burning?
A lot of interesting things going on down at the Snake Reserve.
Wow.
And we do have, I don't like to mention it that much, but there is a private owned cemetery that's just kind of, I want to say, northeast of the nature preserve property, and it's called the Greer Cemetery. It's privately owned, but we've been down there before. I know a lady that runs the train station here in town. It's her ancestors.
Wow.
And there's been some interesting things going on.
Paranormal wise, or
at the time I was not doing paranormal. I was just doing Bigfoot investigations. And me and a couple of friends went over there and we stopped at the end of the driveway and saw what looked like a shooting star, but it made like a U. I mean, it shot
up
almost
and then
like a completely U, and then just disappeared. And it was right after we had asked, "Is there someone around here? Let us know you're here."
Wow.
And it took a long time for it to just disappear.
This place seems to hold a lot of stuff.
Oh goodness. Welcome to Northeast Texas.
No, right?
Welcome to Mineola, Texas. A lot of stuff goes on around here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had whistles. We've had mysterious lights. I mean,
How long have you been researching?
I have been. My first Bigfoot investigation was probably about a week ago, 3 years ago.
Okay.
I've been interested in the Bigfoot and paranormal for years. Just never took it serious.
Right.
Until finally I meet the right people.
How did you meet Luke? How'd you meet Luke?
Through my very first Bigfoot investigation over at the Nature Preserve.
Okay.
Yeah, they were down there and we saw those big old X's.
Man.
Plus Walmart.
You been up at Walmart?
Well, we ran into each other. I think I saw y'all before the Bigfoot investigation. I was running into the lawn and garden and seeing y'all coming out that way. But yeah, it's this is Northeast Texas. Everyone knows each other.
Yeah. Didn't y'all talk online first?
No. No, I didn't add Luke until after the Bigfoot investigation.
Yeah.
So that's been 3 years ago. But yeah, I've been doing the paranormal. I've been doing for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
The Bigfoot I've been doing. Over 3 years.
There's not a lot of people that do paranormal and Bigfoot. I mean, I'm one of them. I did both I was a case director for Pentex for 10 years.
2724 ETCPI.
Yeah.
It's cryptid and paranormal investigators.
I love that. I love that.
I had to post that like that. I mean, the group is open for anybody.
I like it, man. That's awesome.
It's also open for anything. Cryptologist, UFO, anyone who talks. It's a little dead right now because I've only been open for about a year. Well, going on September, but it's still kind of.
Well,
new.
if I still run a Facebook page called Pentex Paranormal Investigation of North Texas. We're not active, but we still have a Facebook page. I constantly get cases, but if I get cases in this area, I will definitely reach out to you.
Oh heck yeah!
So
this is the spot to be.
But your scratches?
Oh yeah. Last Saturday, this past Saturday, we were there.
When you are doing here?
We were doing the Paracon, and we did a Bigfoot investigation. I got scratched.
Wow.
On my hand.
While doing Bigfoot stuff?
That was actually doing a paranormal investigation. I didn't know it, didn't see it.
Didn't feel it?
I got home about 3:30 in the morning. I was on the computer typing, okay, everyone, I made it home safe and sound. And I looked down because I had my lamp on, and I saw my hand, and I went, oh my gosh, that is not right. That is not right.
Wow.
And it had to have been from that one mysterious tombstone, because they were tracing two spirits, a good one and a bad one. So I don't know. It might have been the bad one or the good one getting my attention.
Right.
But I didn't.
You didn't feel it at the time, yeah.
I didn't feel it at the time. But yeah, something was trying to get my attention. I've been tapped on the shoulder at the train station. I've been spoken to quite a few times, and I do have audio on that too.
Nice.
At the train station. So, yeah, I've got it. I've got plenty of evidence.
Well, I'll probably hook you up, man. I probably need some paranormal people to come on onto my podcast. So I'll reach out to you, man. And if Luke says you're good, then you're good. That's all I need.
That's awesome. Great.
So
Good guy.
James, I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. I really appreciate you, man.
Well, what are you doing tonight?
I'm gonna be with Luke. So
we're gonna be out there. So
nice. Well, we're gonna be taking the west end. We're going down to Peacock Pond.
You been there before, Luke?
In that area.
Yeah.
If the light gets a little better, I'll show you some pictures. We got some very interesting pictures down there.
Awesome.
I used to have more, but I took my computer into the shop, and of course that Nikon camera that I was taking pictures with is not working anymore. It was like corrupt files, and he deleted all of them. Ruined it. Deleted all my files.
This man right here, I'm gonna tell you, is on fire.
Is he?
Oh yeah. That has the I want to know. I want to know. I need answers. This is this guy right here.
I got questions.
I know.
I want questions answered. I want to see it. I want to do it. I'm there.
Well, if you ever do it with this guy, this right guy to do it.
Yeah. I hadn't, with health and stuff, I hadn't been able to get out very much.
Yeah.
But I'm getting better, and so I'm ready. I'm ready.
Love it.
So, James, do you have a bunch of your guys here? You have a bunch of your crew here?
Actually, to be honest, it's basically just me that promotes the group.
Okay.
But eventually, I will hopefully have a crew of my own. But it's just the group itself is myself. But anyone is welcome. I don't pick and choose. I'm not like you gotta be this, you gotta be that. No, if you want to be a part of 2724, you're welcome.
I like it.
I don't have any T-shirts for sale. I don't have that kind of budget, but maybe eventually in the future, I'd love to have bumper stickers or stickers for trucks and cars.
Yeah.
But just financially, gas prices, groceries. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
Going forever.
Yeah, don't get me started on that.
But yes, I do have a group. If you're welcome, to look in. Like I said, it's a little slow because I haven't had it up for a long time.
Okay.
But as soon as it gets really active, I need a crew. I need to get me a crew together.
Well, if there's a Bigfoot crew, I'd think about it. But I don't do paranormal.
Yeah.
I done been down that road. You bring too much stuff home with you.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but when we go down to the Peacock Pond, I'm taking my K2 EMF.
Hey, that's fine.
Blah, blah, blah. I can't talk.
That's okay.
I only had a few hours sleep. You go down there, and all you get is a cot in the mattress.
I've been having the meter with you is a very good idea because I've been in areas and all of a sudden.
Now, I do have the portal on my cell phone. I don't trust a lot of those apps on the cell phones, but I've had more luck with the portal. Of course, I have an Android cell phone, so I downloaded a few apps from there. So I've actually had some pretty good luck on there. But there's no way for me to record it while I'm using my cell phone. But you never know. I mean, we were down there a couple of years ago on Halloween, and we were asking questions, and we got this woman. I forgot what her name was, Abigail or Abby or something. But we were like, "Do you know what today is?" And we heard Halloween like that, like excited. I'm like, "What?"
Wow.
And both me and my friend that were there at the train station, we said, "Well, happy Halloween." And we heard it again, not even maybe a minute later after we said that, we heard this voice go, "Happy Halloween!" I'm like, "Oh my, what the heck?" I just wish I had proof on it.
That's crazy, man.
I mean, it was only here, by here, but, I
You'll
don't
get
have
there,
I don't
Ben.
have my spirit box with me. Everything's at the house because I'm doing a Bigfoot investigation.
I got a spirit box. Yeah.
Well, I've got the portal, but I like to have my spirit box because I can use my cell phone to record.
Yeah.
And get back up on it. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna have fun tonight.
Well, good.
After everything's over with here, and I'm full in the tummy, we're gonna have fun tonight.
Well, good deal, man. It was nice talking to you, brother.
Awesome. I really appreciate it.
You too, man. So this last interview, Luke Gross introduced me to this gentleman also, and never met him before, but he seems like a really, really good dude from Houston. Felipe Mendoza. He's part of Sasquatch Dogs, and he runs BigDog Random Podcast. And this funny story is that whenever I was interviewing people, I was on the sidewalk, and he was eating like a big old turkey leg, and he was throwing it away. And so for some reason, I said really loud, I go, "Dang, that turkey leg didn't have a chance." So he laughed and, threw the turkey leg in a trash can and said, "No, I was hungry." And I stuck my hand out to say, "Hey, I'm Robert Dominguez. I'm with Bigfoot Club Podcast." And he says, "I know who you are. I listen to your show." And I go, "Really?" And so he introduces himself, and I ask him, I go, "Hey, man, you want to interview, or if you want to talk about any of your Bigfoot experiences?" And so we end up talking, and we talked for quite a bit, and we exchanged numbers, and I was an instant friend with this guy. So he seemed like a really good dude. I hope he'll have me on his podcast, and he's more than welcome to come on to my podcast. So I really hope you enjoy this last interview. If you want to state your name and...
Yes, sir. My name is Felipe Mendoza. A lot of people call me Big Dog, kind of my nickname forever, sort of. I guess because I'm a big dude, and if people want to be respectful, or they want to call me fat ass. So Big Dog is sort of the.
It's a clean way of saying.
Yeah. So, but we're kind of in the same, field.
What's the name of your podcast?
Big Dog Random Show.
How does someone find Big Dog Random Show?
You can find it on Spotify. You can even Google it, and it'll come up.
Okay.
And show all the different platforms that are playing it. But,
right on, man.
Yeah. So I usually just have people on, kind of like a hangout, not really an interview type of.
Yeah,
situation.
I kind of enjoy that too. Enjoy that.
That way you feel more at ease instead of trying to answer the question or like you're being interrogated. But it's pretty cool. I've got a lot of interesting stories, a lot of stuff that I have no idea what to do with, as far as what the people are talking about or what they've seen. Not everything out there is Bigfoot or ghost.
Right.
Us being close to, I live close to the Brazos River. People talk about like Llorona and stuff like that.
You know what? I don't get. I've got maybe one story about that. So
man, it was one time I was hanging out with some buddies, and they were fishing out there in the Brazos. It was probably about 10 o'clock at night, and they're drinking beer, fishing. I'm not really into fishing, so I'm into drinking beer though. So we was drinking beer, and as we're sitting there hanging out talking, I start hearing like screams off in the distance, and it sounds like it's getting closer, but nobody's reacting to it. And I'm like am I the only one?
Like no one else could hear it but you, or what?
It seemed that way.
Okay.
So that's what I thought was going on. And finally I just said, "Hey, you guys don't hear that?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's just like Llorona, just ignore her, don't go over there and you'll be all right."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, I'm not cool with this, I'm getting out of here." I'm like, chicken. I got up and left. It was weird. But,
so you never went back, you never heard from your friends? Were your friends okay?
Was that?
Were your friends okay?
Yeah, they're okay. They were just a bunch of drunks that did. But they knew the rules. It was like there was rules to the whole thing.
Yeah.
As long as you don't approach her or whatever. They made it seem like that way. Yeah, I still talk to them. You know, they don't. You know, it was like a normal thing for them, not like weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't be okay with that either.
Yeah, so I had to get up and.
I don't blame you. I'd have done.
Yeah,
I'd have done the same thing.
Yeah, it was weird. But yeah, like I said, I've had different kinds of stories where people seen witches flying in the air and stuff like that.
Wow, that's pretty. I don't even. I wish I could get stories like that. I usually mine's is usually just Bigfoot, and or paranormal. That's it.
Yeah, so I guess what I try to do is just not. I mean, even though I've had a Bigfoot sighting, I've also had different experiences in life. I believe I was visited by my grandma when I was a younger child, where she had passed away. We were really close, and I used to just lay in bed being upset about it.
Yeah.
And I would be laying on my stomach, and I would swear somebody would sit on the bed and start rubbing my back almost to comfort me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did she used to do that to you?
She was very affectionate, but you know, I don't ever remember her, like rubbing my back while I was sleeping.
Right.
You know, usually when we were there, we were visiting, so it was like during the day or whatever. So I never really stayed over, but it was just so weird. It just would freak me out, and I would just start crying. You know, like oh god. And I would call my dad or whatever, and he'd come in there. Oh, what now? Because it was always something that night. Yeah, so I've started sharing different experiences, and it turns out, you know, I'm not the only one that, you know, I've talked about stuff that happened, and family members will listen to, you know, a show or whatever, and they'll be like, yo, I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, I used to see that too, or
right.
I've had that happen to me too, you know.
You know, it's funny how you end up talking to because that's why I kind of like coming to conferences, because you get enough people interested in the subject, and when you start talking about it, and then their stories start pouring out, you know, and it's the same thing with that. So, man.
Yeah, I mean, you get the guy that's skeptical about Bigfoot talking smack, trying to, you know,
I get that all the
beat you
time,
down,
too,
and then when you get them alone, they're like, hey, man,
Hey,
you
man,
know,
I got
one
story.
time I was a teenager.
I got a story.
Yeah, they're all like being real about it, and you're like, what is going on? You were just about a while ago just, you know, beating me up about what happened to me or what I believe, and now you're saying that it might have happened to you when you were younger. You know, I mean, you get the guy that I've been hunting all my life and I've never seen anything like that before. And
Felipe, where do you live at?
I live outside of Houston.
Wow, you came all the way up here?
Yeah, it was not that bad. It was like a 4-hour drive.
Okay. Wow.
4-hour drive. Yeah.
I drove an hour and a half, and I was bitching about that.
Well, you know, I've always enjoyed windshield time, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I work in a type of business where it's deadlines, and when you're just driving on the road, open road, you know, I'm with my family now, and we just, you know, hey, everybody good? Everybody got to pull over, get a drink or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of bond, talk, you know, when the batteries die on their cell phones, you know. We have a good time, and, you know, I love traveling. You know, there's my truck right there. It drinks a lot of gas.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah,
I was wondering whose truck that was.
That's the Yeti. That's
jeez.
Yeah, I've had people from Australia come and film it.
Is that like that's not paint, right? That's like vinyl? Is that a vinyl?
Yeah, it's a vinyl graphic. We change it up all the time. We got some ideas that we're throwing around and we're thinking about doing as far as changing the camouflage of the stuff with it.
Felipe has a really big truck for people who can't see it. It's a white truck. He's got like gray and black or grayish and other gray vinyl stuff, and there's like a footprint on it, and it just looks like camouflage and looks really, really cool. I didn't know that was yours.
Yeah, I had the grill. I built, custom made it, and the rear, and I kind of, you know, the truck Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I was always a fan of that truck, and then I bought this truck, and you know, it's got a 10-inch lift and threw some big tires on it.
Right on, man.
Man, it says it's white. Let's call it the Yeti. So I had this big sticker put on it, and you know, it kind of took off, and it's kind of got its own personality. I had a Instagram page on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many followers do you have on that one?
Oh, I'm not sure. It just keeps popping up, but I actually signed out of that account for a while. I need to get it back going. And,
okay.
Yeah, because we go different places. You know, we've gone down to Marshall, Texas, and you know, I don't know if you ever seen the old Stagecoach Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy, but we got a bunch of cool pictures out there.
Maybe you should move up here, man.
Think I should?
Yeah.
As long as I find a good job where I can make. I don't even need that much money. I just need money to buy burgers, and I'm good. And my wife, she's not one of those material girls. Yeah. So I was coming over to talk to you, and I saw you was busy, and I was like, well, I just come back. You know, I didn't want to interrupt you.
You could have.
Oh, okay.
You could have.
But yeah, so that's pretty cool. But yeah,
you see Ken Gerhardt and.
Yeah, Ken Hart is a good buddy of mine. I've known him for a while. This is
really?
My wife, my beautiful wife. Everybody listening in radio world.
Bigfoot, hello. How are you?
Just recently got married. New Year's.
Nice.
Yeah. We got married. Jeff Stewart married us. We got married at the Sabine River.
Wow.
We do it big. We're gonna do it nice. If we're gonna get married, we're gonna make sure that. You know, she's had her own experiences with Bigfoot.
Really?
Yeah, so that's how we got together. I went and spoke at a conference in New Mexico, and, you know, she saw me, and she's like, look at that hunk of meat there.
Hunka.
So, then, yeah, we started talking on Facebook, and, you know, next thing you know.
You're getting married.
We're getting married. But
so you moved here?
Yeah, she moved to Texas.
Dang, she must really love you, Felipe.
She does. That's why I was like, man, I can't mess this up. I gotta be on my P's and Q's and make sure I do everything right because I want to keep it forever.
Wow, that's a great story. I wish I would meet somebody in Bigfoot.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, you never
know. You ain't dead yet.
No, it's true.
I didn't think it was gonna happen like that, but it happened. I'm very
That's
happy
awesome.
How it came out. Yeah, I got 4 kids. Good kids, man. So they like to go squatching too.
So have you done much Bigfoot research?
Back in the day, I did a lot when I had a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's not so much, but we're talking about getting some free time. Because like I said, we just got married, so everything's still settling in.
Right.
We're trying to figure everything out. She moved all the way from New Mexico to be with me, so it's a big step. And,
right.
We're just trying to get all that settled in, but we've been talking about going places.
East Texas is the place. Actually, later on tonight when we're done with the conference, we're supposed to go to the nature preserve.
Okay.
Like
okay.
I'm going with Luke Gross, my mentor.
Oh yeah, Luke. I had him on my show.
Did you really?
Yeah.
But he's planning on going tonight, and I haven't done anything with him like in 12, 15 years, so I'm excited about doing that with him. And like I was under his tutelage for a long time, so
right, he's a good dude.
He is the best. He is the best.
If you're gonna be under somebody like that, that's the guy to do it with. You know?
Yeah.
He's got a lot of interesting stories and got a lot going on. He's been doing it for a long time, and he's a very good dude to talk to. When I get to talking to him, it's just
you had him on your show recently?
Yeah.
How long ago?
I'd say maybe early this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you talked to this guy, Ryan Edwards?
I spoke to him earlier. Yeah.
He's from San Antonio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, San Antonio. So.
I asked him if he'd like to come on the random show. He said he's down. So.
Yeah, I asked him that too. He's only 21.
Yeah, young dude.
Yeah, he's young. He's got vest and hat on.
Wow.
I don't know if that means that he's young, but I don't know anybody our age wearing a vest and a hat.
A lot of cool people out there. Everybody's got a little different idea of cool, and that's cool.
Yeah.
If I could find a vest that fit and a hat, that looked good on me, I would wear it. Earlier, I was trying to put on this jacket. It was a leather jacket, and it had the tassels, but it didn't fit.
Felipe, how come I haven't talked to you sooner, man? What's up with this, dude?
I don't know, bro. And I've listened to your show plenty of times. And I'm like, man, this dude sounds cool, man.
You should have hit me up, man, on Facebook.
I thought about it too, but I'm like,
dude,
because I am shy, as you can probably tell. No,
you weren't shy enough to walk up here and talk to me. Because like I saw you eating that chicken, I go, man, that chicken didn't have
you
a
wanted
chance.
some, huh?
Yeah.
He wanted some of that turkey leg.
So, oh man, but something told me to talk to you, so I did. So.
Oh, cool, man. Thank you, something. But Yeah, so I have had actual Bigfoot sighting.
Where at?
It was out in Fostoria.
Okay.
It's not too far from Sam Houston and all
Okay.
that area. Actually, the guy that was with me, he's somewhere around. He's with Ernie, and Brandon. Brandon's the guy that was with. He's my brother from another mother.
Mm-hmm.
His mom's not doing too well, so if anybody listening to this,
Yeah,
if you can send prayers
to
to
his
them.
mom.
Brandon Garrett. I don't know if you heard of Bob Garrett.
Yeah.
It's his son. Bob Garrett was my mentor for a long time. I know he had a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of people were. But he's still my boy. I never turn my back on him.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, thick and thin. If it's, he found out who all his real friends were after everything went.
Yeah,
you know,
that's usually what happens.
Yeah, so he's still going on. He just kind of bowed out of the Bigfoot world just because things got.
Sometimes you got to take a step back.
Yeah, he's
Sometimes
focusing on his wife and his family, so that I can respect that. But yeah, so I was out in Fostoria and I was with these guys. I actually met my cousin Lupe, the one that.
Right, Lupe thought you were.
So he was on Facebook. He posted a picture of him kneeling next to a footprint, and I asked him, "Is that a Bigfoot print?" And then he PM'd me and he's like, "What do you know about Bigfoot?" And I was like, I don't know, some big hairy dude lives out in California or something. And he's like, "No, that was taken in Washington where he had his first sighting."
Right.
And so he invited me to go Bigfooting with him. That's something I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I finally got a chance.
What year was this?
This was in 2012.
Wow.
So I finally got a chance to go Bigfooting. And then I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what equipment I needed. I didn't know anything about it. So the first thing I did was go into the tactical store, Army Super.
Yeah, yeah.
And I bought me this cool ninja outfit. Not literally a ninja outfit, but it was like a black. I look like Special Ops.
Okay.
Bought like some tactical pants, army boots, but everything was black for some reason. And that's the worst color to wear when you're out in the sun.
Yes.
Is black.
I was about to say that.
I learned that. I learned it.
I mean, you weren't going to go rob Bigfoot. You were just going to go see.
I was coming in there like Mission Impossible, So, we get to walking. These guys, they get their directions mixed up because it was supposed to be in and out to go check these cameras.
Right.
They were going to change the SD cards and batteries.
Right.
And we ended up getting lost. But my cousin is leading this. There's like 4 of us. He's the ex-military ranger.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's walking, and he sees a bush with Squatch is standing behind it. Because we're being loud. We're tromping through the woods like a bunch of city slickers doing.
Sometimes that's the best way to do it.
It actually was that day. So what he saw was a Bigfoot standing behind a bush, and it ducked straight down.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, "Hey, there's a Squatch right there." And he's fumbling with his camera, and he's getting frustrated trying to turn his camera on. And I'm just like, "Yeah, right." And
he saw it, you didn't see it?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
So he starts running straight at it.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm kind of like laughing to myself, like, this is going to be a good show. What are they going to do, Jazz? And as he was doing that, I see this big hand coming out from the side of the bush, kind of like this, and grab a tree. And I see the hair, and it was all in slow motion. I don't know if anything crazy has ever happened to you in your life.
Yeah.
Where it was all in slow
motion, yeah.
What do they call that, the Oz effect?
Yes.
So I see this hand slowly coming, and it's huge. I mean, and you think a person would grab something like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, it grabbed it like upside down, like that. And you can see the hair coming off the arm. It was really shiny and clean. And it was like about 4 or 3 inches long coming off the arm.
Uh-huh.
And I was just looking at the arm. I was looking to the elbow. And then I start seeing a shoulder coming up.
Uh-huh.
And then by that time, I seen it sort of stand up and turn around. What it did was it spun around and went down on all 4s and took off. And you see the trees move, but there was absolutely no sound. You'd think something that big would sound like an 18-wheeler driving through the woods.
Yeah, it usually is.
It didn't make one sound. I don't know if it was because I was freaked out. I don't know if it was because it was, I don't know. I just still can't figure it out. How does something that big move that fast and not make one sound?
Did your friend ever get his phone on? We can take a picture? Okay.
But so what happened was the guy started like, all right, set a perimeter, and I'm just sitting there like,
because you're trying to process what you saw.
And the first thing I'm thinking, oh, this is suggestive thought. He said there's a Bigfoot. My brain said there's a Bigfoot, and that's what I saw. So I'm like, I'm gonna ask him what he saw and see if he said the same thing, because there's no way that hopefully there's a difference or something. Maybe he saw a brown one or something, and I was like, as long as he doesn't say it's black.
Right.
Or, as long as he doesn't describe the exact same thing. And I'm sitting there looking like a ghost, like I just seen a ghost, and they're like, you all right? And I was like, what did you see? And then he was like, oh, I saw something like the shoulders, the head. I said, what color was it? Oh, it was black. And I just said, oh, shit. Oh, I can cuss on here again.
No, you're fine.
It's
unrestricted.
Okay, good.
I cuss on it all the time.
Oh, hell yeah. So, and he's like, what? And I said, I saw it. And he goes, what? I said, I saw it. And him and Brandon and everybody were acting like a little brother that just got laid. They were all high-fiving each other, all happy.
Yeah.
All right, man, he's all right. He's seen it all. And I'm thinking to myself, I want to go home.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait, what? I don't want to be here. I want to go home.
Did you feel like nauseated at all when you saw this thing?
I might have. I didn't feel good. I felt sick. I felt scared.
See, the reason why I ask is the theory on infrasound. I don't know if you've heard that theory.
I've heard that, and I think I've been hit at another time.
Right.
Not at that time. But what happened to me when I got hit by infrasound, I got like tunnel vision. I got dizzy. When I left the area and went away, I came back and the same thing happened again.
Right.
And
see, I always ask that question whenever I do an interview with somebody. I go, "Did you feel sick? Did you feel nauseated?" Because like a lot of people who have sightings, like especially paranormal sightings, they'll describe the same kind of feeling.
Right.
Like that through EMF, and I said, wait, that sounds like big. Because like someone was telling me, yeah, I felt sick whenever I saw this Bigfoot. I go, really? How did you feel? And they were telling me, I go, that sounds like infrasound. It's the same thing. But that's interesting that you felt that way whenever you saw this thing. So what happened after that? After you guys did the high fives?
I guess I didn't do the high fives. I was trying to get out of there. I guess the best way to describe it is like, just picture yourself as someone who's not easily intimidated.
Right.
I've been in bar fights. I've been in street fights. I used to train martial arts a long time ago. You can't tell now, but a long time ago I used to do all that stuff. So I was never intimidated by people, or
you're a bad dude.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say that.
I'll say.
Okay. I wasn't easily rattled. But at that time when it happened, I felt my brother used to pick on me when I was young.
Right.
And he scared the crap out of me, like bad.
He's toughening you
get
up.
so scared, yeah. You get so scared you're frozen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like paralyzed, and that's kind of what happened. And I'm surprised I didn't piss myself. Now keep in mind, I was heavily armed. I had a gun on each side. I went in there cowboy style, and the last thing I thought about was those guns. I didn't even feel safe. I felt like I had nothing for this guy. I felt like if he turned around and came at me, I would just lay down on the floor and cry, because it was just like that bad. And,
yeah.
I had I don't want to say like a psychiatrist, but I had a guy that just was talking to me, and he got me back in that moment, and I literally freaked out again. It was weird. So yeah, it was really scary for me.
I haven't even seen a Bigfoot, and I've been doing it since '99.
Yeah, the thing is that was the first time I ever went out. The first time, and everybody says I was so lucky.
You better call it lucky, yeah. Because like, I went out an area for 6 months, Felipe, until I got
some kind of like tree breaks or like grunts or yells. I was in the area for 6 months before I got there. I knew they were there because we got a bunch of sighting reports, but I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything when I was there. So what I would do, I was worried. This sounds kind of gross. I'd wear the same clothes, the same place.
Yeah, so you have your smell.
Yeah, I had like my same shoes, pants, shirts. I put it in a big Ziploc, and I'd wash it with like really, really mild soap, and I would like wear it all the time. So that way they knew my scent.
Yeah.
And so it took me 6 months, man. And you go out once and you see it.
It was crazy.
I know.
But it wasn't over yet. So they finally talked me into going to check the other cameras.
Okay.
They're like, get it together, big boy. You're too big for us to drag you out of here.
Yeah.
You know, snap out of it, man up, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So I finally did, but I was still scared. We get to the other location. We get to the other camera. They do what they got to do.
Have you ever introduced anybody new to the area?
I'm not very athletic at this time. Everybody was leaving me behind. These are all military guys, and hiking is their thing. They're carrying backpacks bigger than me. You know, they're all geared up and they're just cruising. So they leave me behind. And what I did was I took one of my black shirts off. I had another shirt, the one where you sweat and then the breeze and everything cools you down actually.
Yeah.
Go to the area.
So I took the other shirt, I poured water on it, and I put it on top of my head to cool me down.
That's smart.
Yeah. You don't do that in front of a military guy. You're supposed to conserve your water. Yeah. So I got, but I got chewed out for doing that. So they leave me behind. They're cruising. They're a good distance. They're probably from here to that building over across the street.
Yeah.
So I'm walking. All of a sudden, I hear a twig snap on my left side, and then I'm walking through like what they call like a power, where the power lines are. Pipeline.
Electrical right away.
Yeah.
So
like
gas right away.
It's like it's like an opening. They trim it or whatever, and then both sides are covered in woods.
Yeah.
So I'm walking through there. And I have my shirt over my head, and I hear crunch, pop, snap, and I was like,
"That's not me."
I stop, and then I'm like, "I'm tripping. I'm hearing things." So I start walking some more. I take a couple steps, and it takes a couple steps, and I'm like, so I slowly start looking that way, and I don't see anything. Like, oh man, I'm flipping out. I'm tripping. I start walking again, and sure enough, crunch, pop, snap, and I was like,
so this thing double backed and probably followed you, right? Just like came behind you.
From what I could tell, from what I can hear, it was like right next to me, but like kind of
like in the tree line.
Yeah,
in the tree line.
Yeah, but I can't see it.
Right there.
Yeah, so what's happening? I start doing that mall lady walk. You know, the old ladies are walking the mall.
Yeah, start walking.
I can't run, so I'm just.
But you gotta come back, don't you? Eventually, gotta come back.
No, we're done with this area, so I'm trying to get out of there.
Okay.
So what happens is they turn around and look at me every now and then, and because I'm the guy that's holding everybody back, you know. So they see this different look on my face. I look worried, or they're like, "Oh, damn, something's up with him." So they all stop. I see them throwing their backpacks down and everything, and I was like, "Yo, there's something walking next to me. I can hear it in the woods." And they're, "Oh yeah, it's paralleling you." They do that.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, so I need to know everything you know about Bigfoot. I need to know it right now because I am not liking surprises. I'm not feeling that today.
Yeah.
And they're kind of laughing. They're like, "Relax, bro. It's gonna be all right." And I'm like, "Nah, man. I wanted to go, and you guys talked me in." They're like, "Chill, dude." Yeah. So I calm down, and they're like, "Look, this is what's gonna happen. You just sit here, you rest, and we're gonna leave you with one of the guys. You just chill, and then we're gonna get the cars, and when you feel better, just keep walking down this way, and you'll hit the main road. Hopefully by then we'll pull up at the end of the road with the cars and pick you up." Y'all gonna leave me? No, we're leaving you here. You'll be all right. you're strapped up. Don't worry. He's strapped up, you're strapped up. All right. So then I'm sitting there and I start talking to the other dude. And by this time we hear like on the right side. So everything was going on the left this whole time. On the right side, I hear like a whistle, like a weird.
You're warning the other one.
Yeah. So then I think the other guy heard that whistle before because he was kind of laid back, chilling. And when he heard that, he tightened up. He got nervous. His whole demeanor had changed. He almost to the point where he almost drew his weapon. And I was like, he's like, get up, we're moving. I was like, oh. I had unzipped my boots, my new boots, because they were killing me, being brand new army boots. You don't ever go hiking with brand new boots. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Not me, I didn't know that apparently. So I zip them up, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm feeling better. And now this time, we're getting parallel left and right. And they are not being sneaky.
They're being loud on purpose.
They're being loud on purpose. We're both walking as fast as we can, but we could tell, I could start hearing cars driving by. It seemed like the closer we got to the road, they seemed to back off. And even though the street was probably about 200 degrees, I ran over there, got in the middle of the street, and gave that street a kiss, because by this time they weren't even there. It seemed like they were gone.
They shadowed you out of the area.
Yeah. So we got out. I'm sitting there leaning against the tree, and I felt like they were gone. I didn't feel like I was in danger anymore. And about a couple minutes later, my cousin pulls up, like he promised. And we get in, he's like, hey, you guys want sandwiches? I was like, I thought we were getting out of here. He's like, oh, yeah. Well, we got to eat something. I was like, can we eat and drive off, because I'm not going to say no to a sandwich.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much what happened to me.
Have you talked about this on your podcast?
Not yet.
Why not?
Well, because I was saving it.
Oh, okay.
So like, since then, it's been mostly about other people. I've talked about other experiences that I had, especially with my grandma, and then I've had some UFO sightings and stuff like that too.
Well, I definitely want you on my show, man.
Oh,
that way you can like push your show.
Okay.
On my show, so. Are you a wrestling fan?
No.
No?
Gotta be honest, no. I've been to wrestling before, though, with a bunch of my drunk buddies, and then they were getting mad because I was like, it's fake, but they're like, it's not fake.
Because Roman Reigns is called the Big Dog.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called the Big Dog.
It's funny because there was another wrestler that had a mohawk and he was a chunky dude. Not Taz, another guy, and they had like a little action figure, and everybody like, look, it's you.
I can see that people can say like with Taz about you.
Yeah,
so.
Taz, especially when I wear suits and stuff. I just feel kind of nice.
There's Luke right there.
Yeah.
The man.
I guess he's trying to interrupt. But yeah, he is the man. I hung out with him a couple times.
Man, that's awesome, dude. I mean, anybody that hangs out with Luke, I think it's cool. So, I mean, he doesn't hang out with everybody.
No, he doesn't.
So, but who else is on your show with you? Just you?
My wife appears every now and then. We did one that's called Bigfoot Matchmaker. It kind of talks about how we got together. She actually talks about her experience that got me interested in it. Yeah, and she'll come on every now and then with me.
So you basically do it by yourself?
Yeah.
Wow. I commend you because I couldn't talk by myself on the show. I just couldn't do it.
I've done some where I talk by myself, and then I've done some. I was like kind of promised to get guests, and then I had a guy who actually passed away.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, he came back, but he talked about his experience after he died, and it was strange because his experience, the same thing happened with my uncle.
Yeah,
he passed away, but he came back, and they talk about the same thing. It was sort of a little bit different, but basically the same thing.
don't talk about that. And like after everybody left, he walked into the room. He goes, "Do you remember what happened to you?" And I go, "No," because I had a ventilator in my mouth, and I wrote down no because I couldn't talk.
Yeah.
And he says, because you weren't here for 7 minutes. They did CPR on you. That's why you got a ventilator in your mouth. And I go, wow. I didn't. To me, it just felt like a dream, like I was asleep.
Yeah.
And I didn't see a light. I didn't see darkness. I just felt like I was asleep.
Wow.
So, but it was pretty intense, man. You know, the physical therapy, all that stuff is pretty intense, man. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, spiritually, mentally, physically. It was like the hardest thing I've ever done, and I don't know. So I mean, this past season, like I started doing a podcast again in December. The first 2 episodes are just tied into what happened to me and how I got over it, and it was really, really hard to talk about again.
Yeah.
Like I was choking up the whole time, and I was like, man, I don't wish this upon anybody, but I go, man, it's just tough because like there was a couple people that were IMing me. He goes, hey, where's the show at? And like I was still in recovery, and I go, I'm in the hospital right now. I'm in recovery, so. But yeah,
It was all about. There's my buddy Jeff.
Oh yeah, okay. He's one of the sponsors, right?
Yeah. No. He's actually been on like all kinds of TV shows.
Nice.
Done a bunch of stuff. He was on Monsters and Mysteries. He had his own little segment and everything.
Nice.
He's actually the guy who married us together.
Really?
That's what I'm saying.
You married them together? Nice.
So he's like a Bigfoot legend that married us together.
Are you a deacon? Are you a deacon?
I am an ordained minister. I have a PhD.
Boom.
Yeah. Well, not to get too far off the subject, but I'm glad you're still here with us.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
And,
Thank you for
I'm
listening.
Glad you make it come back, you know, and I know your story is probably hard for you to tell, but there's somebody out there that needs to hear it.
Yeah, I agree. Because like I was talking to my nephew about it. I said we should do a show on my recovery. He goes, I don't know if I want to do it. I said, dude, if it's gonna help one person, we got to do it.
Right.
And he goes, you know what? You're right. You're right. I can't be selfish. We got to do it. And so we were both choking up on it because like but thank you, man. Thank you for listening to my show. It means a lot to me. It really does. So I mean, because I'm actually surprised because there was another lady that came and goes, hey, I came because you were coming and I listened to your show. I almost started crying. I go,
yeah.
Don't. But I'm gonna check out your show, man.
Oh, I appreciate it. It's a little rough, but we're getting there.
So that was the last interview that I did that day. I did a lot more interviews, but there was a lot of interference, and I wasn't able to get a lot of them out, and I do apologize. But thank you for listening. I really, really appreciate everybody that listens. For everybody, but I cannot say how much I'm so happy with love and support. I will say that we had a winner for our very first Queen Jeans Candles Bigfoot Freshie. Marcus W. Simpson posted on the Facebook group the Times of the Horn during our first contest. On last week's episode, we ran a horn, and you were supposed to mark down the time and then post it either on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. And Marcus did it on Facebook, so he was our first winner. So congrats to him. And I'm extremely happy with our sponsor, Queen Jeans Candles Company. She does great candles. She does great candles. She does the Bigfoot Freshies, or she does Freshies. You can reach her at www.queenjeanscandleco.com. So you can go to her website and make orders and reach out to her. She does a fabulous job, and showmanship and presentation looks great on all her candles. So I would say check her out. You can reach her on Facebook. She's at Queen Jeans Candles Company, or CO. on Facebook. Order it. And we love her because she's a great lady and she supports Bigfoot Club podcast, and I support her. So, other than that, I'm going to close out this show, and we'll see you again this weekend, and I'm excited. So goodbye and good night.